And here we go, back to the Collinsville High School YouTube channel Coaches Show. Once again, our guest today is Melissa Johnson, the head girls volleyball coach. Coach, how you doing?
Great, how are you?
Doing great. Coach, you're on a 4-game winning streak. We started the first round of District 1 and 2. You're 5 and 2, tied for second place in district with Tioga, who you beat a couple weeks ago. Just want to point that out there. Coach, at this time last year, just to be honest with you, you're tied for second place. That's where we were last year, and there was a point in time in this season people were really kind of like, hey, where are we going to end up? Are we even going to make the playoffs? Now you have the opportunity on this next round to actually perform at a level to where we could be as high as 1 seed, but as high as 2 seed as well, or, you know, just get in the tournament, which that is our main goal. Coach, your team is growing. Hey, they're extremely fun to watch. We went to Savoy last night, swept them 3-0. I love how our team is progressing, so you're doing a great job in that aspect. But, Coach, I'm going to jump right into the dialogue. What are your emotions from last Friday night? We played Dodge City. It went 3-2. The stands started getting crazy, started getting excited. So what are your emotions about Friday night versus Dodge City before we jump into Savoy?
Well, definitely a game that, just like the Tioga game the Friday before, where it was stressful. It was one of those games where I could feel myself growing more gray hairs, and you know that's just what happens when you're dealing with teenagers as far as playing. And at the same time, we came out our first set and we barely got to double digits and lost the first set. Won the second set by a pretty good margin. Lost the second set, or the third set, just like we did the first set. Came out and won the fourth set in a neck-and-neck situation, and then the fifth set that ends at 15, we ended up winning 20-18. So there, and had the lead for most of that set. And there again, it was a situation where we needed to get through and get our mental toughness better than our opponents, and because physically, you know, granted there's some things that we need to tweak, but you know, at this stage in our game, players know their roles. They need reminders here and there, but as far as moving together and having court chemistry, we've got it. Still with tweaking the little things, our biggest issue right now is our mental game, and so that's what we've been focusing on and saying, hey, this is a situation where we want to be. You know, it doesn't boil down to necessarily the fundamentals or knowledge of the game. It's who's going to be mentally tougher, us or Dodge City, and we ended up being victorious in that aspect.
Yeah, the emotion ran high because after the game, the girls were excited, you were excited. I got to see a lot of people jump around. One thing that excited me in this game is you had a role player, a substitute player, actually come in and fill a lot of shoes in that game 5 that normally doesn't play a lot. So what excites me as a coach is she fulfilled her role. So just real briefly, Coach, for about 10 seconds, tell me about Rosie Cordero. She came in that 5th set and really helped our momentum in order to win that game.
Right. Rosie is a transfer-in student, new to our program, and getting in and jumping right in with these girls and again fulfilling her role. She stepped in and helped us out in a crucial situation, and her maturity since she started as a player and then just fitting in with our chemistry, she had obviously her best game by stepping in and playing those roles. So we appreciated her role there.
Yeah, she did an outstanding job coming in and helping out, and the best thing I liked is the team accepted it. She played her part. We won Tuesday last night versus Savoy. We swept them 3-0. Coach, but big win on Friday. You had a big win on Tuesday. You know, we've wrapped up district play. We have Wolf City coming into town Friday night at 4:30 here in the gymnasium, which if you can't make it, we're going to live stream that as well on Collinsville High School YouTube channel. But tell me your emotions about not only Friday night with Wolf City coming, but just the second round of district. What do we need to do to make a run?
Well, I do want to give a shout out real quick to last Friday's crowd. As you said, we had just previously the Tioga crowd, that games crowd that we had. Yeah, that's awesome to see your kids in your community coming together and rooting for us, and we definitely appreciate their loudness and owning our home court. Another thing I wanted to throw out about last night's game against Savoy, we had 2 players that ended up with 10 aces who actually subbed for each other in 2 separate sets. Michaela McDonald had 10 aces, and then her sub Audrey Miller, freshman, also had 10 aces. So that was pretty ironic, something out there that was new for us. But looking ahead to Friday's game with Wolf City, we started off with Wolf City to start off district, and we knew we didn't play to compete at our best level. I don't know if it was again, having a majority of youth on our team. We had just come back from a situation where we had some missing players, and it was district game, and that's a different pressure than it is pre-district. And so now that we've kind of started rolling, we get to face Wolf City again on Friday, and that's something I love about our volleyball program and the sport itself, is that when it comes to high school, you get to compete against your district opponent twice, once on their court and once on your home court. And so now that Wolf City's turning the tables and they're coming to our court Friday, be it that we have an awesome crowd that shows up again for support, this is a must win. This is big time. We have to redeem ourselves from that first game that we shouldn't have lost. We did. Wolf City outplayed us, period. They ended up winning. We won the one set, they won 3. We're on a mission on Friday. We can't hold back. We can't have a late start. We've got to get them from the get-go.
Well, and they're coming to our dungeon on Friday, so we're extremely excited. I think our kids are looking at this game different. We only had one full practice with the whole group back before we played them. We had some kids out of their control not be able to play the week before. We got them back, played one game versus Hal, a pre-district game, then we come back with them, only one practice, and went over and performed, and they beat us. I love that a coach is just saying, hey, they outplayed us. There's nothing we can do. We're coming back now to play them at a very high level, which, Coach, brings me to the next question. We're tied for second place. A lot of people, and you're aware of this, really didn't put us in that category earlier in the year. How's it feel to let this team grow? I mean, how's it feel to see them progress as ball players rather than just youth players? How does that make you feel?
Well, obviously, I'm overall proud of where we're at. When actually, Coach and I had a discussion once where he was showing me my records throughout the year and saying, look at your record this year when you had predominantly freshman and sophomore. Look how it increased this next year. Look how it increased this next year. And now we're in a situation where we're back to kind of to ground zero with rebuilding and having the majority of youth in our athletic program. And it will be the same for volleyball, basketball, and softball. It is what it is. And so with that said, knowing that we've got a group of girls who have come out, and like I said, love, and I've repeat this my third time, love that we have no drama, love that we have team chemistry, love that everybody's on the same page, and we want even with our girls who sub in for each other, talked about at the game against Dodge City Friday of, hey, if you're not playing your role, you're not able to compete and you need help, ask a teammate, hey, say, come sub for me, get in for me, I need some help, pull me out of the concrete, and use that maturity in your game to say, for whatever reason right now I'm not cutting it, come help me out. And so being able to take that step forward in a maturity in their mental game over their physical game as well just continues to make us grow together as a team and a program. And so with looking forward to Friday, I'm excited to see then versus now. And obviously we can't take for granted that Wolf City hasn't grown and matured in their game since the last time we played them. But I keep reflecting on this year back to ourselves, that no matter who we're playing, no matter who our opponent, we've got something to prove to ourselves. No matter, like you'd brought up with, people last year, we weren't expected to do well in our district, and we went to the regional tournament. This year, people look, and it doesn't really matter what people expect for us to be.
What others, yeah.
Exactly. We've got to worry about what we can do. We've got personnel to play. We're going to play. Yeah,
and that's one thing we pride about our program, not just in the girls program, boys program, is if you can play, you're going to play. We could care less what mom and dad says. And now we love your mom and dad. We love parents. We love the community. But if we had to count on them to decide who plays, well, we're not very good coaches, and Coach Johnson does a great job with our volleyball team in order to figure out exactly what needs to happen. Coach, we just talked about Wolf City. We talked about Savoy. We talked about being in second place right now, which that second place could turn into first place, or it could turn into fifth place, because running in the second round of district, you just never know. But, Coach, what needs to happen for your team to not only just get ready for the second round, but to get ready for the playoffs, get ready, just get into the tournament. But what needs to happen in practice? What needs to happen with chemistry? What needs to happen off the court? What do you think is most important shortly for your team to get prepared for this second round to make a run? And I know I just asked you that, but it goes deeper than that. It goes deeper than performing in the game. What needs to happen in practice?
We continue to say, and even after meeting in a game with last night's game against Savoy, the first set we beat them 25-5, the second time 25-6. And then that third set I pulled in and put in a new rotation in preparation for us later to kind of try out and see if maybe something different would work for even against Tom Bean. So being able to use a game situation to help us even in a practice, we looked at that segment as, hey, this is a practice segment. You can't simulate that in practice. And then also going forward by the time the game was over to say, those little things we need to fix that we made mistakes on up against Savoy last night, that can't happen in our other games because those are going to cost us the game. And so knowing that our girls have figured those things out, and again, getting in tune with their mental game, with pregame, and pregame warm-up, we've got to come out full throttle instead of being down or neck and neck and just, we always break it down by saying, let's be the first team to 5, let's be the first team to 10, let's be the first team to 15, and so on. And once we get to 20 to say, now we need to finish the game. Now we need to close it out. And so being able to break down the game in pieces and making sure everybody's doing those part, it's those little things that can add up quickly that we can't afford in the second round of districts, much less could we afford in a playoff game situation.
Yeah, a couple things you said, pregame, for coaches that understand that, there is a pregame because there's a pregame as well, and you've got to get prepared for pregame before pregame. Something that Coach Patterson said the exact same thing that Coach Johnson just said, was just simulating speed in practice is very difficult to do. You can't simulate a game in practice. As much as we try, we always put it in the practice schedule to simulate a game, but it's very difficult to do. So kudos to Coach Johnson to figure out a practice plan just to be able to do that kind of stuff. Hey, I want to thank the Athletic Booster Club. Please join that if you can. They're really doing a lot of good things for not only girls athletics, but boys athletics as a whole. We appreciate them. I want to thank the ACTV staff for providing this opportunity for us. I want to thank Ms. Sasha Young, who is being the video woman today for some of her students that couldn't be here at this time. I want to thank them. I also want to thank you for attending the Coaches Show. Coach Johnson and I enjoyed doing this, but Coach, I'm going to give you the last 30 seconds, final thoughts. Just talk to the community, talk to parents, talk to whoever you want about your program and how much they help us in order to have success.
Well, I've said it before on the first segment that we have, and I can't help but continue to repeat it because it's one of those things where it's becoming part of our daily lingo. But we're in again with every the obstacles that have come about in our world. Being able to be a part of a district and a community who allows us to play, who allows us to have a season, who allows us to have spectators in our gym. That's just for kids trying to keep things as normal as possible. It goes a long way. I'm very appreciative of that, and so we just appreciate all the love and support that we get, whether it be from our parents in the program, from our staff members, from our school board, from people within the community. We even have, oddly enough, we have sometimes even more comments and compliments outside of our community with praise when you start talking about the news coverage that we get from newspapers and television. And so we just appreciate that support. And just like any kiddo, they love seeing themselves and hearing about themselves. And so we appreciate that it's coming from all angles. Yeah,
we thank Kim Patterson, our principal. She allows us to have athletics, and I know that sounds crazy, like people take it for granted, but it's not for granted. But she supports the program. We thank Mr. Mark Dykes, who they're both athletic supporters, and they allow that because no doubt we're here for education first, But athletics is a big part of education as well, so we thank them for supporting along with the school board, as she said. Hey, thank you ACTV staff. Thank you CHS YouTube channel for carrying the coaches show. We play 4:30 Friday here versus Wolf City. Please come to the stands. Be loud and proud. If you cannot watch the game, it will be on CHS YouTube channel. Kerry Johnson and I, Daniel Johnson, will be commentating for the match that afternoon. Thank you for tuning in to the Coaches Show.